And without further delay, let me turn you over to judging a book by its cover.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Give it up for Duck Washington. My name is Tim Wick. I'm your host for this evening. We are going to be playing Judging a Book by its Cover. Now, let me explain the rules to you. We're going to bring up two teams of book experts. That's right. We have book experts. These people know about everything book related. And what we are going to do, we're going to bring them up here and we are going to show you a cover from a book. There will not be a title on that cover. It's just going to be a cover from the book. But our experts are so expert. I mean, just they're like that when you like they're not like experts down here. They're like super. They're like scraping their head against the ceiling. Book experts. And simply from the cover, they're going to be able to tell you the entire plot of the book. So that's literally the entirety of what we do. Literally, the entirety of what we do. So I'm going to set up a microphone kind of right over here, and this is for one team. Then we got a microphone right over there for the other team. So I'd like to bring up our first team of book experts. They both started reading books at a very young age when they discovered them in their parents' bathroom. So let's hear it for Nick and Molly Glover. Different parents, they're married, they're not brother and sister.
We have different parents.
Yeah. but they all have books in the bathroom.
Yes.
They do.
Still to this day.
And then our other team, this is a veteran book expert team. They actually both have librarians in their family. They do. So let's hear it for Don Krasnowski and Angela Fox. And of course, before we go to our first set of books, I do need to introduce our fabulous tech maven. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for the newly married Melissa Kersher. Now, what we're going to do, we have round one, round two, and then round three. And basically, the rules are whatever I think up at the time. That's my job. And we have two books in each round. We will take turns describing a book. So the first, you can't hear me?
No, I'm talking. We're smack talking.
We're smack talking.
Oh, you're
Very
smack
quietly,
talking.
Very
Okay.
quietly smack talking.
Well, that's because
Yeah,
we're talking about books, and
Yeah.
you're quiet. It's
Yeah,
like being in a
yeah.
library.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to smack talk in a library, you just have to be careful. You do it very quietly.
Do it like this.
Librarians
Smack
talk
emoting.
with their fists.
So, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with the Glovers, Team Glover. And we're going to show you the first book cover in just a moment. Now, when I show you the book cover, the first thing that is going to happen is I need you to tell me the title of the book. And then we will have you describe the contents of the book, describe the story. All right? So here is your book cover. Go. What is the title of the book?
It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's an unbearable night.
An Unbearable Night.
Yep.
An Unbearable Night.
Yes.
Yeah,
By
it's, J.K.
Bob
Rowling.
Thingpin.
No, J.K. Rowling.
Oh, J.K. Rowling. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
But
my
not the one
bad.
you think of. It's,
No.
it's someone who's using J.K. Rowling as a pen name.
Justin Knight Rowling.
Yeah. Yep.
Different, totally unrelated guy. Totally trying to capitalize on the name, and then ended up being a huge hit success on
Yeah.
his own merit and not because
Yep.
of the name. It's really some of the best bear-themed erotica I've ever read.
I think that's largely in part to the fact that Justin Knight Rowling's parents were bears.
Yeah.
And he really watched them mate a lot. So he knew like how bears were tender.
He's the Tarzan of the Pacific Northwest.
Yep. And so the story, okay, let me just, we should really just start with
Yeah,
the beginning,
right,
right? So painting you a picture, a cave, misty, dank, dark.
Mossy.
A man and a woman looking for a place to bone romantically.
You might think, what other
A lot of
way is there to
romantic
bone?
boning happens in caves, more than you'd think.
Exactly.
You might be thinking, what other way is there to bone?
Yeah.
Well, that's the unbearable
Yeah,
night. That's
yeah.
later.
So they get into the cave and they lay down on what they think is a bearskin rug in the cave. And so they're on like, oh, tongue. It's just, like a lot of kissing. There's actually this weird part where J.K. Rowling wrote out like in like phonetically.
It's like 2 chapters, isn't it?
GHVQQUE. He moaned passionately.
Yeah, and then there's a chapter where if you flip it fast enough, you actually get to see it happening. Like there is sex going on.
Yeah.
And then
he makes little people out of out of like an O for the head,
Yep.
and then like an I and the line down for a neck, and then yeah.
And then the bear wakes up.
Right.
So, I mean, bear wakes up. I mean, obviously, they, as you probably surmise, they are not on a bear skin rug.
Mid-hibernation.
They're
So, I mean,
living bear.
It took a while for the bear to wake up. It's mid-hibernation.
Yep.
And as such, I mean, imagine how grumpy you are when you wake up from just an 8-hour nap. If you wake up from a several-month nap, you're, way that exponentially grumpier.
Turns out the bear is the guardian of the 7 erotic secrets. And so these two go on a quest to uncover the 8th erotic secret, which has been unknown to man for the past 7 centuries.
Has it been known to bear?
It has been known to bear, but he's forbidden to speak of it.
To bears, there are 16.
Yep.
Wow.
So they go out in search of this, and the cover actually is taken from Nick's favorite scene. We actually talked about this in our first date.
Yeah.
When the boy reveals himself to be a vampire and actually needs her blood to live, and that turns out to be the 8th erotic secret is blood.
It's losing blood while in the act, and then there has to be like the pressure of a bear watching.
Right. So like you could like skin your you're in a cave, right? We're like we're in a cave. We're in a cave. I skin my knee, and while I'm down there, I mean, why not? So
Bend
like
over, treat your skin knee. Oh, my knee! Oh no! And then I'd be like here, and then you're a bear.
Rawr.
Yeah.
And then boom.
And so once
straight to number 8.
Exactly. So after completion, the bear then shames you in the tongue of the bears. Nick, tell him you're really good at this. It's embarrassing. I'm sorry. That's our word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the denouement and the kind of the plot wrap up is when they have to. The bear confesses that he's actually lonely and has been looking for his bear boyfriend this whole time.
Right.
And so they take the bear to where his boyfriend was last seen, which was, a shady glade. And his bears, they love glades. And so they take him out there and they find him.
Yeah.
And what you always say his name better than I do.
It's Green Pants. But you have to say it like that. It's Green Pants.
I said green pants, and he
You're
laughed
wrong.
at me, and I
You're
forced
wrong.
to see it.
Green Pants. Green Pants, seeing and smelling the vampire instantly kills the man.
Yeah. It's really Romeo and Juliet story.
As the woman is mauled and put into a coma, she kind of is this comatose incubator for the child that becomes J.K. Rowling.
And it turns out the entire book was the dream the fetus was having.
He had a little snow globe in there.
I think the great thing about that book is how GLBT friendly it is.
I know.
Gay, lesbian, bear, transgender.
We didn't say, but the bear's name is Twink, so it really works out for
It does.
everybody.
So that's fantastic. That was a complete encapsulation of the book. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
It's our favorite.
Before we score the first round, though, the other team needs to have a chance. So we're going to bring up book cover number. But before we do, we'd like to know, Melissa, if you would, we'd like to know the actual title of this book.
We got it wrong? Forgiven.
Three books.
You might not have been that far off.
Ferocious love. 2 fur puns on one cover.
I like that there were 2 more first.
Wow.
Do you think they were all 3 bear books, or do you think the other 2 were other large
I
mammals?
mean, one of them was about a raccoon. When it comes,
Impetuous love.
she's a New York Times best-selling author, ladies and gentlemen.
The marriage clause.
It's
Yours, Ursine, and mine.
Pause for love.
So we're going to move on to team number 2. We're going to show you again a book cover, and we need you to tell us the title of the book and then tell us, briefly, just a synopsis of what takes place. So here is your book cover. Please say the name is Sword of Crabacles. What's the name of this book?
They have to look it up in the Dewey Decimal System.
This one's a very near and dear. As a librarian,
Yes,
this
and
not
as
only
women,
yes,
as women.
and as women, this not only entertains, it teaches.
Yes.
Yes.
We'd
And what's the title?
We'd like to introduce you to My First Menses. Now, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know that my parents did not take the time to teach me about things like menstruation. You know, we thought that's what our belly buttons were for. But that's where this book really changed our lives together.
Parents can sit you down and go, if you have any questions, this will tell you everything you need to know.
You never have to have an awkward conversation with your
Never.
kids again. Never.
How could this lead to an awkward conversation?
Yeah, I mean, this is so self-explanatory.
I mean, really, you don't really need to do much but go, here you go, Susie.
Yep.
This is your body.
Yep. And it's really kind of nice how it talks about the process of menstruation and the delivery of it and how it's a gift from the moon crab. Because this is factual.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Yes, if you go back to ancient times, you will know more about not only the moon crab, but the moon sword. Although,
Well, we're
yes,
jumping ahead.
I'm
We're jumping
going way
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
just
no. It's like so important because so every month the moon crab comes to your body. This is what the book tells us, and it will not only lie you down peacefully,
very peacefully.
but then it uses the moon sword to assault your loins until you wish you were dead.
And that is your gift
Yes.
from the moon crab.
Yes. And the moon crab was birthed by Mother Nature. And that's the next chapter of the book.
And that's when it gets just like so touching.
I know.
That's the part that when I sat down and read this for the first time, I
Did you
was
cry?
like, I
You
did.
cried.
I
cried
totally
too. I cried because I thought, what a beautiful gift that Mother Nature gives us with the moon crab that will rip us from the insides once a month, and not only make us want to die, but also makes us want to kill people, which is why the crab is such an essential point. Because if you'll see, it's one of those crabs, and I can't remember its name besides the moon crab, but it's got that big defending claw and that feeding claw. So the defending claw is what you have to use. Those are called hygienic products.
Yes.
So the defending claw is the big uncomfortable pad we all started out with. Because it works, and and
It
it's
does
easier.
work. It does. And
It's-
it's very beautiful, as you can see.
Oh yes, it's a moment to treasure and a moment to relax and succumb to, which that's where the chapter on my doll comes in.
yes. And this book really
Wasn't Midol a Greek god?
Yes! Oh my God, you've read this, and you have sons.
That's
Weird.
amazing. It's good for sons to know about this too, because there is a chapter about preventing the moon crab.
Right.
Well, not preventing.
Well, it's enduring.
I mean,
the
you know
moon
what I mean.
crab. I totally know
It's
what
more
you
like
mean.
enduring your people that you're around when the moon crab. That was its name.
It was. Oh my God, I totally forgot his name. It was Mune.
I could
the
mune
moon
the moon
crab.
crab.
Right, because that's the sound you make when the sword
Yes.
is thrusting
You go,
in your
"Mune!"
abdomen.
And it actually explained a lot, because I remember going, all these cramps. It feels like something is trying to eat me from the inside. And it was like, no, it is Mune, the moon crab.
And just welcome and accept the thrusting pains and rely on the god My Doll, which can be purchased at your local Walgreens.
Oh, yes, I forgot this thing was actually sponsored by Walgreens, but we try not to talk about
No,
that,
no,
because
don't,
then
don't.
it kind of takes away the beautifulness of Mune.
Beautifulness. And it really kind of sums up, especially at the end chapter, of how you're just supposed to lay back and suck it up.
Yep.
But do so beautifully and relaxed, and don't act like it's a thing in your life and you have to keep it a secret and you can't tell anyone else about,
It's true.
your moon crab.
And the wonderful thing, too, is it tells you at the very end that the next book tells you all about crabs.
Yeah, I know. And about how crabs make you pregnant.
Yep.
Yes,
It's beautiful.
It's a very informative series. The audiobook
So
is done by
wonderful.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
It's just, just makes it so poetic because this is a poetic topic. Yeah,
Very much it.
the moon blood and the moon sword and how you're just.
Totally forgot all about the moon blood.
Oh my God! How do we forget about the moon blood?
Like the sacrificial chapter.
Yeah, about how you're supposed to save that.
Yeah.
We've kept all of our pads
Oh
for
gosh,
what the
I've
last
got-
20 years.
It makes the most beautiful wall art.
It does, because it's adhesive. It just goes right up there.
You don't even have to use like those hangers you do for pictures.
No.
You just go.
Yeah, and then there's that whole section about photos that people have turned
Yes.
in of their
Oh,
their moon
oh.
blood walls.
And Mune collage. Oh, that
All right, I think we is that I think we have we have to wrap it up. That was a
But
great.
there's so much more. There's
I know that was a great. I read for years. I read that book to my boys as when they were young.
Right, and you can go
It was their
online.
favorite. It was their favorite book because they were like, "Wow, I will never be that miserable."
Yeah, that was
They- they would-
Good Night Mune.
It gave my.
Right? The child version.
Oh, that was the Judy Mune series.
That's it.
So, Melissa, that what they described is actually not the title of this book. What is the title of this book?
By Guy N. Smith.
Guy N. Smith.
We can't stop them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was round one. We need to award a winner of round one, and that's my job. I've just got to do it. I just have to make a decision. I think the decision is clear that this round goes to Dawn and Angela, ladies and gentlemen. Dawn and Angela. But that's all right. There's lots of time to get back in, and I'm going to remind those of you watching here, those of you watching at home, this is a presentation of Fearless Comedy Productions, and we are here to raise money through Die Laughing. We are, by the way, at the start of when we started this show tonight, we were halfway through our 50-hour comedy marathon, which means we still have half of it left. But we actually have 2/3 of judging a book left. So we're into round two. Now we're going to switch things up in round two a little bit. We're going to start with Nick and Molly again, but this time we're going to show you the first book cover. And Dawn and Angela, you are going to tell them the title of this book, at which point Nick and Molly will explain the plot. This is like a fever dream I had after watching Lady and the Tramp one time while I was in Hawaii. Okay, what is the name of this book?
Essential oils and
Es-
how to use them to massage your animals.
Essential oils and how to use them to massage your animals. Nick and Molly, why don't you tell the audience, fill them in on what this book's about.
So you know how they used to test a lot of products on animals? And that was, in the 80s, there was a lot of light shed on how awful that was. And so there were a lot of people freeing animals from their cages, and now we have things like Lush and other companies that don't test on animals. But the thing is, animals love to be pretty. They love it. So what you need to do is take some essential healthy oils and massage them into your animals. Yeah, that's what this book helps you do.
One of my favorite things about the book is that it's kind of like you can look at it from two sides of this coin, and that's that animals want to be pretty, they like to feel good, they like to be groomed, and so the essential oils, you want to go with really natural stuff, avocado oil, coconut oil, stuff like that, butters. But then the second half of the book is all recipes.
Yeah.
And so
No, not like that. Not like that. No. Like to feed to your animals, to give them healthy, just like align their chakras.
Right. What did
Yeah.
you think?
No, it's fine.
No.
How many chakras does because animals have different numbers of chakras
It's
than
true.
human
Depends on the
beings.
animal,
It's true. So
the species.
Dogs have 6.
Right.
Cats have 2.
Two.
I thought
Just
cats
two.
would have 9.
No, that's that's really
specious.
it's a sad misconception. You can actually get in a lot of trouble if you think your cat has 9 chakras. So please don't listen to Tim. Your cat only has 2 chakras. Don't use the oils that are for 9 chakra lizards.
It's the nose
Yeah.
and then the base of the tail.
Yep, that's where you want to stick stuff, like in the, like stick the oils, like
Rub stuff.
Rub stuff.
That's,
Yeah. So
That's give them attention.
The 3 animals in the cover, you might be thinking, oh, they just got some cute animals for the cover. No.
Those animals
yeah.
started ugly as hell.
Yeah. Not only, okay, so I'm just going to show you. So this one right here, this was a bearded dragon. Right? This guy right here, he was a snake whose skin had gotten stuck over part of his face, so he couldn't actually shed the whole way. And then this guy's always looked like this, but look at those ears. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're so
Those
nice.
ears, that dog used to be a frisbee dog, not the kind where you
Yeah.
take it to the beach and you throw a frisbee. I mean like ultimate frisbee, like it had dreadlocks in its ears and played a lot of hacky sack. That kind of a frisbee dog. And I think now it just looks so much better.
I think we need
Well, it's not appropriating some other dog's culture. I mean, that's
right,
really.
exactly.
Right.
So I know we talked about this before, but I think we need to get personal. All right, so
Yeah, okay.
this book changed our lives.
It did.
I didn't want to explain it, but so we have these 3 cats, and
All of them assholes.
they're all assholes. But the thing is, we took these coconuts, and I just broke open a coconut with my bare hands, because you can do that when your chakras are aligned, and I scooped out the coconut oil that I presume is inside coconuts, and
Yes,
and
squeeze 'em.
yeah, and so I was rubbing it on Hot Pocket, our one cat, and as I was doing that, he actually started speaking English. And Nick was there, otherwise people would think I was crazy, but he said, "That is so luxurious, we gotta write a book." And I was like, "They already wrote a book." And he was like, "Then bitch, we better cash it in." It was weird, and they don't make sense,
Yeah.
but we figured out the problem.
So apparently, when animals are properly exfoliated
Yeah.
and oiled,
Yeah.
they do sometimes gain the ability to speak. However, they speak like an outdated, kind of an 80s,
Yeah.
like
Like a bad episode of Law and Order.
like a person who thinks they're speaking street but like grew up
Yeah.
in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And then like sexist. Like it's
Yeah.
really weird.
And then so we fed some avocado oil to the other 2 cats, and they just kept telling me that they kept finding a body. They were like, "The body's over there." And I was like, "There's no body." And they were like, "Well, when I was in narcotics, we used to find bodies all the time." And it was like,
Gatsby,
why are
you've
they,
never been in
why are they
narcotics.
talking like Law and Order? It was
I
really
know.
weird.
Yeah.
It was, so you guys I guess we want to serve as a warning.
Yeah,
That-
you can do it and you can overdo it, and this book
Yeah.
doesn't really make the lines clear.
You really do need to pay attention to the order of operations, though.
Yes.
It doesn't seem important, but I mean, if I hadn't put the avocado oil on first and then the lemon essence, maybe Hot Pocket wouldn't have started all those fires.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
you want to. It's they really what they emphasize is a middle out treatment
Yeah, middle
option
out.
for your animals.
Oh, I forgot.
What?
We met the author, and
Oh.
she is just as crazy as you
Racist.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, racist, super
Super
racist.
racist.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So don't meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Buy it off Amazon so she doesn't get as much money.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, and that's time. Well described. Well described. And I was interested. You guys didn't mention that there are multiple editions of this book. That they put out a new edition every year.
I know, but the later editions are just so full of epithets that I just really can't in good conscience recommend them.
That is fair. All right. Well, let's.
Coconuts. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, you did a great job describing the book that Dawn and Angela named. That's not actually the name of this book.
What?
What is the actual name of this book, Melissa?
They're really close.
Oh my God!
We are librarians, Tim.
All right, you guys.
We come from a long line.
You guys get us an extra point just for actually getting the book right. Although Nick and Molly should get a point for getting the Bear Erotica book. Accurate. All right, so let's look at our next cover. Nick and Molly, your job is to name the book, and then Angela and Dawn will describe the book that you have provided the title for. What the fuck? I'm sorry, pardon my language. What the hell? No, seriously, what the fuck? Is that John Pertwee? Talking about the donkey.
We know that one. We know
Okay,
that
what's
one.
what's the title?
Yeah, it's it's got a subtitle to it.
Yeah.
So it's a man and his donkeys :
Yep.
an erotic journey through the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep.
You're actually very familiar with this
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
It's
I love this book. I do. I love this book.
Yes. And actually, you can only find it in the erotic section of the library. It's under a very specific Dewey Decimal System.
It's called Dewey Decimal Doomy.
Right. So this book, I felt, starts out pretty slow. Because you're, starting at the top of the canyon, and we're just not into the ass sex yet. And it's really disappointing, because I want, like, first page, second page ass sex.
Well, librarian porn like this can start off a little slow because we really like words.
Yeah, we do.
So first we just describe everything.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We're librarians. I mean, words are foreplay.
it is true. I'll say that again.
Words are foreplay.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, do. Okay. Anyways, after we
sorry.
need a break.
Okay.
It starts out slow. You start at the top of the canyon, and of course, you have to, pick out your. Has anyone done this before? Because you have to pick out your ass.
Let's see a shade.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hands.
No,
No.
wait. Oh my gosh, you
we're
guys.
so excited to share this with you. You can actually, buy this trip on Groupon.
Yes, Groupon, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wait, was it Living Social?
Both. You
I
can find
can't
it on
remember.
both. Okay, so you start at the top of the canyon. You got to pick out your ass. Now, the main character of this story, we'll just call him Bob. Actually, he doesn't come with a name, but boy, the way he talks about himself. I think he's a Bob.
I think it's a Bob, yeah.
Yeah. So Bob goes and picks out a fine ass, and then he gets on top of it.
Yeah.
And then he rides it all the way down the canyon.
And then this is where things get really cool because the first chapter tells you all about Bob and his ass.
Right.
But then
You would think he'd get tired.
no, not at all, because chapter 2 becomes choose your own adventure.
Choose your own ass venture.
Exact-
If I remember right.
so right. I forgot
I know.
That's fun.
Yes, that was really good. So, yeah, that was only chapter 2, which is also a joke on, like, going to.
Get it? 2,
I-
chapter 2.
Yeah, and then you have to choose how he goes to and on the way down his ass.
That's true. The really fun thing too, though, is that you can choose donkeys. Because
Yeah, I mean, ass. Come
yeah,
on.
hello. But then you know what the really awesome thing is? There is there is also the crab unit. I mean, it's kind of crazy we got this one too, because. I felt like I was already so in touch with this because of the first book I read when I was like 5.
I know, but the third chapter of this book really gets into getting rocks in your ass.
Now,
Particularly
that one was so interesting.
It really was because apparently it can get into asses, like their bottom parts of their ass, like the feet parts. I didn't know ass.
Did you
had
know
feet.
they had feet?
I know, but so you have to be really careful with rocks and foreign objects affecting your ass.
Yep. And then the chapter 3 is all about lubrication.
Because riding an ass all the way down a canyon gets really.
Come on.
Yeah.
You can chafe.
You can
You
chafe,
can
you
bruise.
blister.
Oh, blistering's the worst.
Blistering is awful.
Because then blisters pop.
Yeah.
And then
you can't really stick a Band-Aid where those blisters are.
You really can't.
They don't stick. They don't stick well.
Sometimes there's hair that helps.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So once Bob,
Sorry, I got a little personal.
no, it's just, I appreciate your. I appreciate that.
It's a very good book.
Yeah.
The asses in this book are pretty hairy.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's.
Right in the middle of it, he likes it.
Yeah, so then Bob finally gets close to the bottom of the canyon. And he's getting, closer and closer to his ass because they've spent a lot of time together and they're really close.
Very close.
Very close. And as he gets to the bottom of the canyon, that's when the weather changes.
This is where it gets a little sad.
Yeah, it gets sad and super dramatic. Because that's when, the sun is setting. But the sun sets fast when you're in a canyon, deep in a canyon.
It's dark.
On an ass. Yeah, it gets really dark. It goes dark really fast.
It goes dark really fast. And that's why they usually give you safe words.
Right. Like flashlight.
Flashlight's a really good one.
Yep. Like canteen.
Lantern. Wait,
Yep.
no, was that chapter 5? Oh, I skip ahead
no,
all
that's
the
okay.
time.
Let's get to that chapter of the lantern. Because once you finally get to, Bob.
Yes,
Not
Bob.
you, Bob.
It feels so personal.
It does. Because it's written in first person. It's like, I'm on my ass right now. It just feels like I was right there.
It was right there, and then there's more asses to choose from.
Oh, yeah, because you finally get to the bottom of the canyon.
Because that's where all the asses are. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So essentially, this is an everyman story
It really
about
is.
riding ass and choosing your ass and picking how to do it safe and healthy and getting out onto the top of the canyon again in one piece.
Without blisters.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I treasure this book, and I strongly suggest it as Christmas presents to your grandparents.
Oh, yes. My grandma Millie, she cried when I gave it to her.
Yeah.
She said, I finally know how to ride ass.
And that's time. That's time. Well, that was a great description of a book that never existed. But what is the actual title of this book, Melissa?
We got it almost right.
You guys are really good at this. You really are. So, okay. We got one more round, but before we go, I have to score. I have to give, this. You guys are making it really tough. You're doing a great job, but I think I need to give this round to Nick and Molly. Nick and Molly. Nick and Molly, we're going to go to the last round, and we're going to change up the rules again. Now, here's what we're doing. We're going to do this lightning style. Now, lightning style means we will bring up a book. I will actually tell you the title of the book. And then one team will start, and when I say switch, the other team will take over. All right?
Continuity?
Yeah. So we're going to start with Nick and Molly, but when I say switch, then it goes to Dawn and Angela. So let's take a look at our book, and I'll give you the title. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nick, you posed for this.
The name of this book, I'm sure you all remember. It's called She-Hulked. And I would like it if Nick and Molly, you could start describing She-Hulked.
See, I think it's important to start with a distinction here. You might see a book titled She-Hulked and think, oh, this is a book about Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk of Marvel Comics. You're wrong. This is a woman who gets hulked up. And I don't mean like hulked up, but like she gets knocked up with a Hulk.
Yeah. So the thing about she hulked is that you can tell she hulked because the evidence of her hulking is right there. And
She just hulked herself.
Switch.
She hulked herself hard.
Switch.
But the thing is, you could tell that she wanted it, otherwise she wouldn't have gotten pregnant.
So true.
Yeah.
That was in the follow-up to the moon. Have you guys been listening at all?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
But the sad part about this book is they had no money. So the Hulk had to go into underwear modeling.
Yep.
On a green screen. It was great because they could put anything on him at all, and all you could see was the underwear.
It's true. But I mean, if you notice, they didn't even have enough money for her to wear underwear.
It was so sad. So they made a lot of money that way.
Or that might be a little bit, but never mind.
No, okay. But now, they were concerned, of course, about the viability of this pregnancy. Because, I mean, he's obviously from a radioactive background. I mean, like, I'm amazed, like, his little swimmers could actually, get up there and do their job. The fact that he had the little swimmers still.
But the great thing is you could see it in the dark.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, you
Yeah,
knew exactly
actually,
where you're like, wait.
You could see it, like, right through her.
got it,
I
yeah.
mean, you could just see them, like, go in and impregnate
Kind of
things.
a beautiful
Switch.
So the big surprise comes about halfway through the book when you realize that he's been masquerading as a Hulk. He's actually an alien. And on top of that, the people from his home planet have come back to find him. You can see they're right in the back there. And they are going to steal her and take the baby. Yeah, that's
The baby is destined to be there. This alien prophecy
Wadib.
that a half alien
Yeah.
baby with one of theirs will be their king one day.
Yeah.
He's their chosen one, and so
They
they're
need him.
here to kidnap their future king.
Switch.
Well, actually, you might have seen this king on the big screen. It was
Yeah.
Magic Mike.
Right.
You can see.
Yeah.
This is Channing. Well, no, we
Channing-
can't.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, don't say the word. Oh, so his name is Chad Tate. And that was where the aliens came down. And they're like, oh my God, we need the king of the disco.
Yep.
And so that's why they came and they stole the baby. But of course they had to steal the mom too because they're not cruel.
They're not. No, they want to keep them together because really, in the bottom of this, it's a love story.
Switch.
So then when they finally realize that the best way to protect themselves from the aliens is the love, is love. And so they keep the hearth fire burning. They have a warm home. You can see right there, there's like a little bit of window light. They build a home for themselves, which is their alien planet's, that's their kryptonite.
Right.
Is love and a hearth.
Yeah, it's happy homes that are like a nuclear family.
Yeah.
Is actually kryptonite to this specific kind of alien.
This was written in the 70s, and it was actually like an allegory about how divorce is bad. So like the planet the alien comes from is like a planet where everyone's divorced and nothing means anything. And it was really trying to make
It's a terrible world of two Christmases.
Yeah, it's
like
the kind of thing it's the kind of thing your psychologist gives you when your parents split up, and then makes you like draw a picture about it to determine if you need meds. Yeah.
Switch, we're almost at time.
But the common theme is that even though divorce is bad, we see our main character survive. Now, she doesn't get a name in the book because she's only a woman.
She's a woman.
Yeah, I mean, come on. She's a birthing machine. But it follows the story of the child, and it has his amazing dance career and also his ads on Calvin Klein. But it's really quite lovely how they wrap things like Halloween into it. Because he's green.
It was amazing. They're like, you know what? Not only are we going to teach people and we're going to make them fall in love, we're going to sell things. Like Halloween items.
And Calvin Klein. Yep, it was really quite lovely, and that's when I actually read this, like, in the waiting room of my doctor's office. It was really quite beautiful.
And you're like, I think I have crabs. He's like, no, it's an alien.
Yeah, it's an alien. You're fine.
And that's time. All right. I think it was crabs. No, that's an alien. Yeah. Okay, well done describing that book. What's the actual title there, Melissa? Obeying his... That's not far off.
Oh, her name was Susan.
Oh,
Susan Sin.
Susan
Are you
Sin.
fucking kidding
Wouldn't it have
me?
been more clever just to be Susan?
Oh, you know
So,
I was that
we got one more book, and then we will determine the winner. So we're going to look at the book. I'll give you the title, and then we will tag team again. This time, Dawn and Angela will start. Jesus. The title of this book, of course, is Surf Boy Spa Day.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Surf Boy Spa Day. Surf Boy Spa Day. Surf Boy Spa Day. All right? And let's hear what you have to say about that book, Dawn and Angela.
Craziest part about this book, it's all written in haiku.
Yes.
Like, I have no idea how long it actually took to write because it is in haiku and it's like over 800 pages long. But I won't go into the haiku because we don't have enough time.
Except for that one chapter that was all written out phonetically.
Oh yeah, but that was the actual spa needing.
Oh yes,
day.
yes.
And so I think that was more about the feelings and the emotion and the actual like muscle use.
That's true.
In that section of the book.
That's true, because you just can't really say, that feels good in a haiku as well.
No.
Phonetically, it's so much better.
It really.
Ooh, that feels good.
Yeah, that was quite brilliant. And
Switch.
One day, Sam was out surfing, and he lost his shirt, had a towel, and he was strolling along the beach when suddenly, out of nowhere,
So his abs are so hard.
Yeah.
They cut through all reality.
yeah,
In or on, please, on me, please. In or on me, please.
yeah.
And so this man's abs cut through reality into the next world. He's just like, it's like super dense with hotness that it just tears or rips a tear in the fabric of space-time.
And so Sam is surfing, in a pool, and while he's surfing in a pool, this other guy, and his name was Jacquard, and he comes tearing through this dimension, and Jacquard is like, "I'm here for all of your butts," and it turns out that like it wasn't even any kind of like idiom from his land or anything. He really was just there for all the butts, and luckily.
And switch.
But again, it was a love story.
It was. And when he actually said, "My name is Jacquard," he said it in this really interesting accent because
Phonetically speaking.
he had no teeth.
Yes.
And neither did the other guy. Because if you'll see, they're smiling, but they're not really revealing their pearly whites.
They're doing the very smart, like, no, just look at this.
And that's when they realized they were actually from the same dimensional rift. It's a land born without teeth, which apparently makes you very prized in the sucking department.
Oh, it does. Which is part of the reason why they saw each other and went, oh, I love you. I know what you can do because I know how to do that too.
Yes. I mean, that time when they were both doing it at the same time.
That inspired that chapter in all phonetics, like we were talking about.
Yeah, we were trying to be gentle because I know we have some kids in the
It's true.
audience.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Switch.
For life.
So the problem with this is when your abs are that hard and dense and you suck on your thumb, you create this vacuum inside you that pulls this eighth kind of matter through reality, and there's a very finite supply of it in all the multiverse.
Yeah.
So the supply of this rare element is dwindling because these two hot dudes won't stop sucking their thumbs while they're going at it.
Yeah.
It's a real problem.
And the only way they can resolve it is through a surf competition. So immediately they get all the cool dudes to the pool, which, Jacquard is just loving. And so, they have this dimensional rift open. The pool is full of surfers. And while Sam is sucking his thumb and realizing the answer is inside him all along, he
Switch.
knows how to solve it.
And then
This is magical.
This is
Magical. Oh my
like
God,
we
it's
said.
so romantic.
Ultimately, it's a love story because while he was surfing, Jacquard appeared underneath him,
As his surfboard. Look at him. He's a beautiful surfboard. And the man
and his secret to not falling off the surfboard. Well, you can kind of imagine.
I mean, he wasn't necessarily sitting on the surfboard, but he was sitting on the surfboard.
He was sitting on the surfboard. The great thing too is from that planet they are very tall, so he could still do like lots of tricks because he could just pivot.
And Jacquard loved it. And he was all about the tricks.
This is one of the best.
Switch. This is the end of the book that we need to talk about here.
So the surf competition ends, obviously, Jacquard and Sam win. The dimensional rift is sealed, but then Jacquard realizes we can't go back to our home dimension.
Yeah.
But they're in love, so, I mean, it's really beautiful.
He's given the option at the last minute. You can slip back through, you can suck your thumb and pull yourself inside out through your
Just like a
abs
really
into
tight
the other
little hole that you just
dimension.
gotta sneak through.
Yeah. Or he can choose to stay here, and he chooses to
Become
stay.
the surf king of Modesto, California.
The surf king and his the king of surfboards.
And they win every pool surfing competition from there on out because they have synergistic love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
so
becomes a dynasty that exists in pool surfing to this day.
We strive to be Sam and Jacquard. I'm the Jacquard.
I'm the Sam.
That's amazing. Amazing. Well done. Well done describing that book.
I'll be your surfboard.
What is the actual name of that book, Melissa?
I'm so sorry. I'm gay for my living billionaire jet. He's a plane.
It's a plane.
Tingle.
He's a billionaire jet plane who's also a dude.
By
who
Chuck
loves
Tingle.
dudes.
Chuck
By
Tingle.
Chuck Tingle.
Tingle.
Wow.
So we were still right.
Oh, yeah, we're still right.
I feel like Chuck Tingle is like if my 65-year-old dad was like, I'm gonna start writing erotica. Now I need to come up with a good name. What's a singer? I know, Chuck Tingle.
Yeah.
Chuck Tingle
That's-
is a gold mine
What a-
for
That's
this
spectacular.
Bucks in the seats, I know.
If you want to learn more about this show, just look up Chuck Tingle, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm having a tough time coming up with a winner because on the one side you've got the pivoting on the surfboard, and on the other side we had an actual haiku. So I'm just gonna have to throw it out to the audience, I think. So, ladies and gentlemen, who feels that Nick and Molly won judging a book today? All right, that sounds very good. And who feels that Dawn and Angela won judging a book today? Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Dawn and Angela are our winners this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Judging a Book. I'm going to turn it over to Andrea because I have to get set up for our next thing, and I just realized I left all the stuff I need for it up in my room. So, thanks so much for coming out and enjoying. We'll see you back here in just a little bit.